Big dubs in the chat, Steps. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to Divine Eye Racing. Round 6 tonight here in Zandvoort. Zandvoort, the circuit by the coastline in the Netherlands, a track that combines kind of old school charm with modern Formula One thrills. It's a seaside circuit nestled in the dunes. It's been a fan favorite since its return to the calendar in 2021, and the atmosphere is always fantastic. Especially the Sea of Orange, people coming out to support their home hero Max Verstappen. But tonight I believe we do have a few Dutch drivers on the grid. I know Yuri is Dutch, Cutthroat's Dutch as well. I want to say, hello, hello, my love. How we doing? I believe there's a couple of other Dutch drivers as well. I'm not 100% sure. Trying to get an idea. Divine might be Dutch as well. Um, I know Haaland is from Belgium, I believe. Yeah, anyways, obviously neighbors to the Netherlands, but yeah, Zandvoort is a technical circuit. It's 4.259 kilometer roller coaster that keeps the drivers on their toes from start to finish. Got 14 corners, including 2 unique banked corners. So I believe the penultimate corner and I don't even know the turn name, um, but or the turn corner, should I say, the number. But it is a tricky track. Plenty of areas where you can lock up the car, and as usual, we see Cutthroat, the first driver out on track. Leave that there, put that there, full track map as well, and there we have it. But in terms of the championship after last week's race, I'm not sure if any of you guys are in the chat who saw last week's race, but it was an absolute shambles. I believe we had 9 drivers finishing the race, so a bit of a hectic one. But we do have a new championship leader, and that is none other than the Steps. leading the championship by 20 points after an unfortunate incident between Kaka and Oluwarishi. Unfortunately, yeah, as I mentioned, some of the drivers lost their heads a little bit last week, which resulted in a DNF for our championship leader. But nonetheless, there were incidents all around, and all the drivers have been spoken to, so hopefully we don't get a similar situation to last week once again. But yeah, we've got the Steps leading the championship in first place with 136 points, followed by Kaka, who is here tonight. Yes, he is. 20 points behind, and then followed by Yuri in the Ferrari in third place with 113 points, just 3 points behind Kaka. And now, team championship-wise constructor standings, Racing Bulls leading the way still with 187 points, followed by the Williams team with 160 points. Ferrari very close behind, 10 points behind with 150. So it's still all to play for, really, in the championship. I believe we're a third of the way, with this being the 6th round. So a third of the way through the championship this season, and yeah, still plenty to play for. We are welcoming back one of the quickest drivers in our league, Holland 0999, who will go on board with the flying lap with him, because this is going to be an absolute work of art, as I'd expect him to take pole by quite some margin, as we see Tonga setting the fastest lap in the session with a 9.4. Very solid lap indeed. Shermanator going P2 with 10.5. And that's purple first sector already for Holland, and Jan and Kaka jump above Shermanator with a 10.0 and a 10.1 respectively. Naismith, returning driver as well. I believe, I'm not sure if he's reserving tonight or if he's actually in. I think he is actually a main driver, but good to see him back nonetheless. Was my teammate last season, of course. But we're seeing Holland absolutely destroy the sectors at the moment. Purple first sector, purple second sector, coming up to the line, and let's see what kind of time it can be. Hello, my darling. Lopo Tikichi, how are we doing? Holland, provisional pole by just a mere 5.5 tenths. Not bad at all. And that's actually a very good lap from Tonga as well, coming into the pits as well. Let's go on board with Yuri, who does have some serious pace around this track as well. I mean, last season we had an incredibly good battle. Yuri, Holland, Paddy, and Lopetegui as well last season, fighting it out for the wins. And we had some varying strategies as well. I hope the drivers will have learned from last season. I mean, I'm unfortunately not racing, but I did make a mistake. You hope it's not MMA like last week. Did you go back and watch the race? Because yeah, it was it was a bad race. That's what I'll say. But Yuri unfortunately have his spin. I think he's on for a decent time. Going to be giving some slipstream to the car behind. With the Steps, who seems to be doing a second installation lap, which is the kind of approach that I took last season, to be honest with you. Oh, he's actually on his mediums anyways, as the Steps always likes to do. Going forward with Paddy, who was our pole position winner, should I say, last season here at Zandvoort. And he sets a purple first sector. I never know if that's actually a purple first sector or a purple sector, or it's just a game glitch. One of the many game glitches that we have in this lovely Formula 1 game, as Paddy's coming up to some traffic, coming up to the McLaren, and kind of stays out the way. Just about. I'm not sure if Paddy would have been put off by that, but Paddy sets purple middle sector as well. This is turning out to be a very solid lap for Paddy. Let's see what he can do. Last couple of corners, doesn't quite hook up the apex, but all the way up to the line now. I'm taking a tight line as much as possible. and all the way up to the line. Let's see what he can do. It's good enough for P3. It's a good starting position for sure. 4 tenths behind Tonga, who, like I said before, was a very, very solid lap from him. Let's go on board with Alevriadis now. But Zandvoort is a lovely track to drive. I mean, it is kind of difficult to overtake. Of course, there's a couple of overtaking zones, 2 DRS zones, of course, around the track as well. Down into turn 1 is your best bets. Yeah, the undercut is quite powerful around here. So many corners, so many traction zones really as well. Yeah, it's definitely a glitch. It's definitely a glitch. Because, without any disrespect to Alevriadis, I don't think he's setting a purple middle sector over Haaland. I mean, I could be wrong. This could be his absolute favorite track. So we see him come up to the line. On this game, every game is flat out. I can't see the whole comment. On this game, everything is flat on this game. It's true. Everything is flat. And Alvarez goes P14 at the moment with an 11.4. So definitely going to be wanting to improve on that. But at the moment, the field is pretty spread out. I mean, you should be able to get 3 runs in quite comfortably. Perhaps even 4 if you have the tires for that. I don't actually think you have the tires for that, never mind. You can tell it's been a while since I did a qualifying session. Let's see what Jazz can do now. Jazz actually using his overtake now. It's alright, we'll forgive you, Lobo. You're from a different country. English is not your first language. We will forgive you. Go on board with Yuri now. He's coming up to some traffic of the kick Sauber in front of him. He's not going to be too happy about that. So we want this kick Sauber to get out of the way as early as possible for him. So he's picking up some dirty air as well. I mean, the dirty air is not really a thing on this game. Is the kick Sauber on a hot lap as well? Is that Shermanator? Oh. And Yuri having a little bit of a moment, as well as the kick Sauber of Shermanator. And I think he was on a hot lap as well. He was on a hot lap indeed, so that is unfortunate for both Yuri being distracted by Shermanator, and Shermanator obviously could have spin as well. Oh, as Yuri invalidates. Quite easy to do on that corner, because it is a tricky one indeed, but Crow disappeared. And they saw the lap from Jan actually as well, closing the gap just a little bit to Tonga. But Jan has been much more consistent recently. You're welcome, Steps. I hope it works out for you. Go on board with Divine. As there is a kick Sauber almost stopped the track there. And Haaland absolutely puts a dent in his previous time by about 3.5 tenths. Solid final corner there from Devon. Use your overtake, bud. Use your overtake. Oh, he's coming to the pits. Never mind. Never mind. On board with Rios. He's had a couple of solid results. Going onto the grass a little bit there, but coming into the pits as well. Okay, Yuri still yet to set the time. He's going to be under pressure for this last run in qualifying. He wants to keep up. Apologies for that. My headset just gave up on me. We'll go on board with DRL Naismith. Oh, and he invalidates as well in that final corner. Really easy to do getting onto the curb. You don't want to be too much about half your car wants to be on that curb, if that, but really easy to bottom out on that corner and therefore run a little bit wide and invalidate your lap. As we see Cutthroat in the wall. Unfortunate for him. Let's go on board with Sparrow. Actually, no, we'll go to the steps. Steps is on the lap. Steps is using my setup, of course. So hopefully he's able to deliver with it. He's up 4 and a bit tenths on his previous time. Coming up to the line, car bottoming out just a little bit. Good enough for P2. Lovely lap from the steps there. The race is going to be... oh yeah, it is going to be a funny one. I think the drivers were given a little bit of a talking to in terms of their driving standards, but of course, you know, it's a hectic one around here. It's hard to pass. People are going to get frustrated at not being able to pass the car in front. So I just hope everyone behaves himself. Yeah, I just hope everyone's able to behave themselves, because obviously we don't promote open lobby driving in this league. Jan is unfortunately down by about a tenth and a half on his previous best, and I think this will be his last lap unless he aborts this one and then comes in and straps on a new set of boots, unless I think this is actually his final run, so needs a strong last couple of sectors here. He's made a little bit more inroads into his time, but really maximizing the track, the limits there, lovely on that final corner, but misses the apex. It's a little bit wide, wants to come up the line, goes into none, so he is coming into the pits. Perhaps he does have another set of fresh tires. Rios is unfortunately not DNF from the session. He's retired from the session, so that's enough qualifying for him. On board with Sparrow now. Improves by 7 tenths. Very good lap there from Sparrow. Puts himself into a provisional P9. But everything to fight for with the drivers going to be coming out very shortly for the final runs in qualifying. Got Haaland coming out nice and early, doesn't want to be in any traffic paradise here in the dunes in the Netherlands. One of my absolute worst tracks, I have to say. Although I've done plenty of laps on it in ranked, it's just not a track that I can get along with. There's not many tracks I get along with. I just hate this game. What up? Yeah, I think Haaland is doing 2 installation laps. I'm not 100% sure. See what he does on this final corner. Nope, he's going for it. So he could be running into some traffic. There's a few drivers coming out of the pits as we speak. F125 we trust. I don't trust anything to do with EA. I don't trust anything to do with EA, my friend, unfortunately. But, oh, he's got some traffic. He's got McLaren in front of him. That's Tranquilos on. Oh, gets out of the way very nicely indeed, but still distracted Haaland just a little bit there. Hopefully not too much, but I mean, he's going to be taking pole position unless someone puts in an absolutely magnificent lap, and he is down, or he is up on his current time. by nearly half a tenth. Takes that curve, lovely running, cutting it very nicely indeed, cutting the grass a little bit there as well. Nice wide line, nice apex as well. DRS open. Very tricky braking zone here. Cut the chicane very nicely indeed. And I believe that is going to be our pole position lap here in Divine iRacing, round 6 at Zandvoort. Look at that, 108.5, fantastic lap from Holland there. On board with the steps now. See what he can do. Didn't quite see the improvement there. Very nice penultimate corner, and Yuri has retired from the session. Yuri has retired from the session, I repeat. And a nice 1.6 improvement from the steps. Tonga behind is on a flying lap, and let's see if he's able to jump a couple places. He's up by 1.2 tenths at the moment, and that would not be enough at the moment, but he can still have a couple of nice corners. We're at a bit too much curve there and goes a little bit wide. Keep a tight line if you can. Ooh, so he lost. Kaka does not have his ERS on, so I believe it doesn't look like he. I'm not sure if he just forgot to turn it on. That's unfortunate. You see Paddy coming up to his final run now. He's just up slightly. Paddy was fighting for the win last time out in Zandvoort last season. Let's see what he can do now. Paddy only good enough for P7. Yeah, ERS, I'm not too sure what happened with Kaka there, because he went into the pits. He made a mistake pretty early on in the lap and then just abandoned the lap. But of course, starting from the top 4 is never a bad decision, I guess. You can always do something on strategy. As I mentioned earlier, it is a track that is very hard to overtake on. You need a lot of overspeed, usually a tire difference delta-wise. But there you have it. You have Holland starting on provisional pole, or starting in pole position, sorry, followed by the steps, Tonga in P3 and Kaka in P4. Here we have it. Going to be interesting to see what this top 5 do strategy-wise. Plenty of options you can do. I mean, I probably want to say, based off of last season, medium to soft is what you really want to be doing. Medium to soft is most likely the tire that you want to be on, or the strategy that you want to be on. And it looks like we're having a dry race, which is always nice to see. Maybe some weather to come, but we've got clear skies here in Zandvoort tonight at the moment. No one should be on the hard tire. That's what I want to say. I don't know, maybe someone starting at the back. Yuri starting P18. Oh, he did have a qualifying ban. That was it. Yuri had a qualifying ban, so my apologies. Did not provide footage, I believe, so that's why he is starting P18. Unfortunately tonight, but let's see what he can do in the race. as we are getting ready to go here tonight in Zandvoort. All the drivers setting off for their formation lap. And let's have a look at what strategies people have gone for. Softs and mediums all round. Sensible by everyone. As we see the drivers come to the grid, still plenty of drivers at the back of the pack, and Sparrows have been disqualified. Unfortunately, it looks like he's having a bit of an incident with. Not too sure what happened there. We see Yuri at the back of the pack now. As we're going to go on board with the steps. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go for Owen. Jan and Tonga have drive-through penalties for a jump start, so they've definitely reacted to one another, unfortunately. And hopefully they're able to kind of stay out of each other's way and stay out of other drivers' ways. They've obviously got to serve their penalty as soon as possible. See, Tonga, who has jumped into the lead now because of that drive-through, that jump start, I want to say. Incredibly unfortunate for him. And we see Sparrow at the back, who's had a little bit of an incident. I mean, they're cooked at the moment, but we know their safety cars are incredibly likely in this league, and we'll see what happens in that scenario. Anything is possible. As long as Steps is able to keep up with Haaland, and Tonga doesn't hold these cars up too much. I mean, he's doing a pretty good job of that at the moment. Paddy's actually losing ground to the pack ahead behind Jan, who's going to want to come in and serve that penalty as soon as possible. Paddy's using the ERS to try and get past him. So Tonga and Jan both serving the drive-thrus at the moment. Straight away, and Paddy's now 1.5 seconds behind the lead 3 cars of Kaka, Steps, and Haaland. Haaland not able to get away on his initial lap, of course, as he was stuck behind Tonga for the majority of the lap. So Steps, Kaka, you're going to have DRS. This is your chance to stay close to Haaland as much as possible. Work together. You guys have to work together as you did previously in Kota. Didn't quite work out for you then. But let's see if it can work here tonight at Zandvoort. They're of course on the faster tires to begin with. So let's see what they can do. Murillo's is in the pits and he's had a wing change, I think that is, and must have had an incident early on. Yuri as well, who's also gone onto the hard tires. Perhaps trying a bit of a early undercut, I'm not 100% sure, but Steps is wanting to take the lead now, moving up into first place, also taking the fastest half of the race, and then we do have our first lead change of the race. Side by side, Sherminator and Tonga. Sherminator not quite able to hold the move around the outside, down the inside, and Alabriadis and Waza having a little bit of contact there. Down the straight, that's not somewhere where you want to be having a huge amount of contact, that is for sure. Lap 8 mediums are going to be fast, yep. Are they going to be faster? I trust you, Mr. Engineer. And Holland is nearly pushing steps through these corners, and Kaka following him nicely behind. Not using too much of the ERS at the moment, but perhaps Kaka will want to use, yeah, here we go, he's using his ERS now to try and make that double overtake on the steps. Steps is in hot lap mode. Is Kaka going to go for it? No, he is not. Kaka setting the new fastest lap of the race as well now. Cutthroat following in behind Paddy, happy to stay behind at the moment. We're down to Tranquiloson and Divine Eye having a little bit of a battle. Following closely behind each other. Waza on the back of DRL Swanee now. About a half a second behind. I'd imagine we're going to be seeing someone crash into that wall at some point. This is a tricky corner. It's flat out, but also if you haven't got the stability in the car to take it flat out, you have that false sense of security. Alabriadis managed to join in on this battle as well now. We'll go back up to the leaders of the steps, Holland and Kaka. Steps has decided to turn on a little bit of the overtake just to get as much overspeed as possible. Definitely wants to be leading and opts not to challenge into turn 1. Steps and Kaka really want to try and work together here if they can to get in front of Holland. Slow him down as much as possible. I mean, the soft tires are going to be the quicker tire, as our race engineer Lopa Tikashi has mentioned. The first 8 laps or so, up to 8 laps I'd say. It is a track that definitely takes a lot out of the tires, lots of high speed corners. Also on the back of the Swanee now. Waza's been having some very good races recently. Been showing up in some very good positions and being able to keep it quite consistent form-wise. Recharging a little bit of the battery in non-ERS mode, taking it back into medium now. I think Waza could be a much faster driver if he learned how to use. As we see Alabriadis. Waza was going onto the grass there. It's turn 1. We have another lead change. So the steps getting past Holland now. Tonga, after his drive-through, is recovered back into P12 at the moment. Again. Really pushing the steps through these corners at the moment, but not wanting to do a huge amount, as we see Holland fake a little bit of a move down the inside, making the steps a little bit uncomfortable as much as he can, trying to put him off his line wherever he can. Should see another lead change here once again. Kaka very happy to sit behind in P3 for the moment, but as the third man in the DRS train, it's never easy. It's never easy. You want to be looking at an undercut perhaps, maybe even an overcut, but the undercut is extremely powerful around here, as we know. You see Tonga getting a move on Divine Eye. Divine Eye tries to fight it back down the inside, but unfortunately came off a little bit worse there. Jan we see going down the inside of Sherminator. Shermader trying to fight back, not quite getting the traction that he wanted out of that corner. Can we see Sparrow make a move on Rios now as well? He's on the soft tires, Rios on the hards. And that is very comfortably done indeed. And we have our first time penalty of the afternoon or the evening. Shermader picking up a 3-second time penalty for track limits. And Holland nearly got away there. The gap was up to about 7 tenths. So, according to race engineer Lopetegui, I was just about to say, softs are dead. This is when the medium tires really start to take over, and you can see the traction that Holland has on the exit of those corners. And Shermader picking up a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Not quite sure what he's doing. I mean, we saw that again last. He's got wing damage, that's why. Another 10-second time penalty for Shermader. That's unfortunate. But yeah, plenty to fight for still. Still plenty of time in this race. 30 something, 30 laps, 28 laps, 27 laps. One of the two, 29. One of those. Still plenty to fight for, so you never know. Safety car could help him come back into the race. As we see Holland gap up to 7 tenths. Having to use a bit of DRS to try and close back in. Of course, he's got the advantage of the DRS, closing that gap back up to about 2.5 tenths into the braking zone of turn 1. Paddy very comfortably keeping Cutler behind him for the moment, but we're going to see a move from Waza on DRL Swanee, and the two McLarens going side by side at the moment. Team orders, guys, team orders. Gives him plenty of room. Love to see that respectful racing, and Alabriadas backs out of that just there, unfortunately. You see Tonga, who's kind of stuck behind him, gets some fantastic traction off that corner past Alabriadas. So Alabriadas in the space of a couple of corners, losing 2 positions there. Tonga really pushing Tranquilos on through, and he's going to have to try and fight back as much as he can following his drive-through penalty. Down the inside, very nicely done. Tonga navigating the traffic very nicely indeed. That gap is getting more and more. Kaka just happy to sit behind still, work together with the steps if possible. We're seeing Cutler attempt to move on Paddy at the moment, not quite enough at the moment. Both on the soft tires, so really going to try and work together if they can. Tonga with a big send down the inside and gets a move done on Waza, the car now behind, but was in front. But moves himself up to P7. Solid recovery so far from Tonga, and let's see what he can do if he can get onto the back of Naismith. I mean, we know Tonga's got some fantastic pace when he wants to show it. It's just about keeping that consistency. And now he is dropping Waza. He's got about 7 tenths to him at the moment, and Haaland has dropped the steps at the moment, so that gap is up to 1.1 seconds. Where is HK Remix? HK Remix is no longer in this league, unfortunately. As we see Shermader having a bit of an incident through the back corner. But now we see Kaka getting past the steps. He's going to try and slingshot himself into the DRS range of the car in front. And at this moment, it looks like Haaland's just going to try and build that gap until the pit stop. I mean, if it's anything based off of last season, I'd imagine we're going to see Haaland pitting around lap 23, 24. and then absolutely fly through the fields if he can do that. I mean, I'm sure he's going to be able to do that, but Steps and Kaka are really going to have to try and work together. Holland is gone. They're fighting for P2, no safety car. Yeah, it's true. I mean, we'll have to see, but of course these are our two who are leading the championship at the moment, Steps and Kaka. So definitely everything to fight for between them, even though they might have been trying to work together initially. Now they've got to be selfish. Yuri all the way. Yuri, where is Yuri at the moment? He's down in P15 on the hard tires. Having a quiet race, but he's in a bit of a bubble by himself at the moment. And sometimes that can be good for your race when you don't have the distractions of other cars around you. Just focus on your own thing, what you're going to do. If they're losing too much, yeah, it's true. That is a very good strategy option, Lopo. But of course, these two drivers most likely not going to be in communication with each other. But yeah, if you're Paddy, Cutthroat, I'd be wanting to consider boxing for the hard tire. Trying to get that undercut on the cars in front. I mean, yeah, these softs are going to be absolutely dead at the moment. And we are seeing the Steps in hard lap mode. He's gaining quite rapidly on the car ahead, but staying behind for the moment. And we see Cutthroat coming into the pit. So if Cutthroat is listening, you're welcome. We'll see. We'll see what happens come the end of the race. But hard tire most likely going on here. Medium tires. Okay. Medium tires it is. They can go to the end, that is for sure. They will be very, very, very tough to manage, let's just say. But where are our closest battles? Alivriadis and Tranquiloson. Medium hard is good too. Softs are bad. Yeah, I believe I did medium hard last season. Especially front left. Yes, front left is absolutely getting destroyed in this race. That is true. Solid battles at the moment. We see a change for lead or side-by-side action between the Steps and Kaka. Kaka around the outside line, not able to make the move stick. He does have more ERS than the Steps ahead. We see the Steps more often than not wanting or liking to keep his ERS mode in hot lap. So obviously giving him that extra bit of straight line speed compared to the cars behind. And was that an incident from Waza? Unfortunately for him, he has dropped out of the battle. This big DRS train that we have at the moment from Tranquiloson all the way down to Jan in P12. And Cutler on those fresh tires wants to make moves early if he's able to. Has managed to navigate his way past DRL Swanee. The extra traction that we have goes down the inside of Alivriadis. Doesn't quite have the braking power that he was looking for at the time. Alivriadis opting to use a bit of ERS to try and stay ahead. And look at how much he's closing up under braking. And we see Kaka coming into the pits now. So Kaka is going for that undercut move. And under braking, Cutler's going to be careful here. Very nicely done. Inside line. Has to get out of it just a little bit there, unfortunately. Does not opt to turn on the ERS mode. Ooh, a little bit of a tap there from Cutthroat on Alivriadis. And Cutthroat, yes, does manage to get past Alivriadis there finally. So Kaka has come out just behind DRL and Naismith in P6. who's also behind Tonga, whose soft tires will be absolutely screaming. And oh, Naismith has gone off, unfortunately. Naismith has gone off into the gravel. Now this should be a pretty straightforward move for Kaka, now able to close up to Tonga. Tonga has actually gone off onto the grass, so he's lost a lot of momentum there, and under braking, Kaka's going to be careful as he will have so much more grip compared to the car in front of Tonga. I'll try and use as much of this extra grip that he's got. Should be able to fly past, and you see Tonga going into the pits now. Bro did like me when I broke my rig. Oh no, Tonga. Tonga's doing a challenge where he needs to collect all the time penalties in the world, and the steps has actually been undercut by Kaka in front of them now, so 1.8 seconds is the gap. I'm not quite sure. That's the strength of the undercut, and Kaka was even held up by traffic as well. Tonga says, "What the fuck" in the chat. That's unfortunate, bro. Really unfortunate. You see Paddy, who's also pit as well, and come out in P4. So even though Cutthroat had a couple laps undercut, 3 laps undercut, Paddy stays ahead. Paddy was able to overcut him. I mean, Cutthroat, we saw him stuck in a little bit of traffic, unfortunately. You see Cutthroat getting past Naismith now. He's not too far behind Paddy, 1.3 seconds. Going to want to be using his DRS if possible. Try and close up in that DRS as quickly as possible. You see Kaka setting the fastest lap of the race with 11.6. I presume that will be beaten once Haaland goes onto the softs. But nonetheless, still nice to see someone else for a change, taking the fastest lap of the race. So we Alabriades and Waza into the pits now. Waza getting rid of those 16 lap holds. Soft tires, taking on a set of mediums. Jazz on the hards as well. Alabriades opting to choose for the hards. Yuri still in a race of his own, in a world of his own. Yellow flags, and that is Rios once again after turn 1, and Shermanator is getting another wing change, unfortunately. So the 2 drivers who are using my setups are unfortunately night and day. You see the steps in P3, and Shermanator in last place, sticking on a set of hards, definitely sticking around until the end of the race. Tonga now taking the fastest lap of the race on a set of pressure medium tires. Of course, he's got that 10-second penalty to deal with as well. Because of my weird ass setups. Bro, my setups are fantastic. Obviously, if I was won the championship last year or last season, obviously they're fantastic. Come on, bro. But we're seeing Kakra actually make some inroads. Obviously he's on the pressure tires by about 15 laps compared to Haaland. So the undercut is working slightly. Under serious fuck? I mean, it all depends on what you prefer, but hey. I think my setup around here is 50-39, so, but in general, yeah, everyone has their preferences. Definitely don't do that. I pressed the wrong button. There we go. And we see Naismith coming from pits now, so that Jan moves up on track ahead of his teammate. About to stick on a set of soft tires. 17 laps he's going to be doing on those soft tires. Yeah, I prefer nice pointy front end as well, but your level of front end is almost like Max Verstappen levels, where it's just absolutely unbearable. But you obviously have a wheel, so you're able to control the car a lot more. I, unfortunately, am not able to control the car a huge amount with my thumbs. As we see, Shermader unfortunately picking up another time penalty as well. But the two McLarens really going to try and work together instead of battling each other. Try and navigate their way past Swanee. But I think the task of trying to catch up with Naismith is going to be too much. As he's on the soft tires. We see Divine coming into the pits now. Let's see where he comes out. I imagine around P15. Oh, and we see Shermader once again having an incident and absolutely burning up his tires, overheating them like crazy, so he's going to be slipping and sliding all over the place. And that gap between the steps and Kaka has not come down. So it's still about 2.1 seconds. I mean, it was initially about 1.8, but of course Steps had to warm his tires up a little bit. I'd imagine that we're going to be seeing the real advantage of having one lap pressure tires towards the end of the race. Tonga picking up another time penalty, unfortunately. So 13 seconds for Tonga, 6 seconds for Shermader, who, yeah, unfortunate for this too. Tranquiloso looks to be a bit low on fuel, so perhaps going to need to do some lift and coast. As you can see, he's lifting a little bit into turn 1 there. And Shermader has retired in the pits, unfortunately, so night over for him. Yuri coming out the pits now on some medium tires, fresh mediums. So 1.9 second gap, 2 second gap to the car in front of Waza. See Haaland, who's coming to the pits, and he's stuck on some hard tires. Is he just doing a challenge for himself? He's come out right behind Kaka. And the steps is perhaps, if he needs to push right now. Push to get within DRS if he can, the steps. Jan still on those same medium tires from the start of the race, so 21 lap old mediums, hoping for a safety car perhaps, so you can get a free pit stop. He would most likely come out in about P13, P14 if he was to pit right now. Haaland already on the back of Kaka, who I'm sure will be getting past, if not this lap, will be the next one. Nonetheless, I'm sure Kaka will be the one to stick behind if he can. Get the DRS. As you see, Haaland is actually recharging his battery. He's got incredible straight line speed despite having non-ERS mode on. So I'm not quite sure what his wing levels are set at. Tranquiloson looking onto the back of Swanee now, and you see Jan coming into the pits, so I believe everyone has now made a pit stop. Yep, everyone. Jan obviously just coming in now, pits against soft tires. Tranquiloson with the overspeed goes down the inside. That was really tight and has a little bit of contact there. A little bit more contact through the corner, but nice move around the inside from Tranquiloson. Holland hards. Yeah, softs are so bad. I mean, the softs worked out pretty good last time. I think I did the hard strategy last um, last season, and I needed maybe 3 laps more, and I would have had P2. But unfortunately, Paddy was incredibly quick on those fresh softs that he had initially, and then they died off pretty quickly indeed. Yeah, as you can see, Kaka really trying to push to stay within the DRS, that 1 second window of Holland in front of him. There's a lapped car in front of these guys as well, so Holland will benefit from the DRS. Not this time round, but down the main straight, I believe he will have the benefit of DRS. Slide into that corner, and the DRS section is right there, so Holland will have the DRS. So will Kaka. So Kaka will be staying behind. Just need this one time. Doesn't want to be using too much of his battery. Yeah, Holland's straight line speed at the moment is absolutely rapid. And he goes for the fastest lap on lap 25, or lap 24 should I say. The gap is nearly up to 1 second already, and I'd imagine on the exit of this corner, it will be above 1 second. It's just a little bit above. On board with Giannis, he tries to navigate his way through the pack with his fresh softs. Benefits of DRS, closing in very quickly, and this move will be done well before turn 1. So P7 is the likely finishing position for Jan. If he can get past his teammate, he's got 4 lap oil pressure tires. Oh, as we see Swanee retiring from the session, that's going to be a safety car. That is going to be a safety car, and yes, it is indeed. Oh, as you can see, the car stricken there. That is unfortunate for Swanee. But a full course safety car, everyone I'd imagine will be coming in for some fresh softs. Kaka steps. Holland. Oh, Paddy picks up a time penalty for the entry to the pits. New mediums. We see Holland on mediums. We see Steps and softs. Paddy on softs. Cutthroat braking incredibly early for the pit entry line, not wanting to get a time penalty. Tonga as well. He's already picked up a 10-second time penalty in this race. Oh, and he's actually serving his time penalty right now. But he's got a bit of a gap to Tonga behind, so we should be all fine from that standpoint. Oh, the Aston Martins are going to double stack. That is tragic. Jan, I would have stayed out if I was Jan. He just pitted not too long ago. Would have been able to keep position from the cars behind, but now he's going to lose position to at least one McLaren. Yes, he did. One McLaren. You're up into P9 now on some fresh softs, so now close back up with the rest of the pack. Let's see what he can do on these tires. Jazz into the pits as well. Yeah, softs are the better choice, I think, because we're going to have at least another couple laps on the safety car. So everyone opting for some fresh tires. Oh, Rios is a lapped car and he's in the way, unfortunately. Perhaps he might want to pit to get out of the way. Because at the moment, he's going to be in the way and distracting. Steps Kaka and Holland. I'm in real position. Yeah, you've got a solid position at the moment, Tonga. P6, I mean, you do have a penalty to contend with, 3 seconds. Let's see what you can do. I mean, oof, I probably would have pit for some fresh softs there. You had a gap. Be able to get fresher tires to the cars around you. Pushed off track? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, if you're pushed off track, then you can take a screenshot of your race director and get your penalty removed if you haven't obviously had additional warnings. Let's have a quick investigation into your. So yeah, that's a warning. That's a warning. Penalty and warning. So yeah, I mean, if you don't get any more warnings, you should be able to get it removed. But that is, you know, obviously you've got to do that. So best of luck to you, Tonga. So one more lap on the safety car while Jazz and a few of the cars behind catch up. Mrs. Sparrow is actually in the middle of the pack or so, but he is down in P16 and they need to sort something out in terms of lapped cars. They should be allowed to go through and map themselves. Yeah, this is going to be creating a little bit of an issue for the cars around them. We're actually fighting for on-track position. So we see the drivers leaving to keep their car, keep their tires within temperature. Rios picks up what? Oh my days. What happened with Rios? Disqualified instantly after picking up oh my days. What happened there? At least he's not in the train anymore. Oh my days. 10-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but here we go. Safety car is going to be in this lap. On board with Holland for the restarts as the safety car leader. So Kaka's undercut has been nullified now. Back within the cars bunched up. Oh, look at that bit of a gap there between the Aston Martin and the McLaren. Let's see what these drivers can do now. Holland, is he going to go late? Is he going to go early? Of course, you're going to be punching a huge hole in the air for the cars behind to receive the slipstream, and off he goes. Decent getaway, about a 5-10 gap at the moment. Steps is really close behind Kaka. His opposite should turn off his overtake at the moment, and Tranquiloson and Yuri fighting down into turn 1. Yuri braking very late indeed. Sticks the car around the outside, and that's a lovely move indeed. Jan fighting him very, very hard. We know those two actually, of course, had some history in the last round at Singapore, so that could be a reason why that was fought incredibly hard. But Yuri up into P8. Let's see where he's able to go now for the remainder of this race. Gap between Haaland, oh, huge send from Yuri, but a fantastic overtake there. Up into P7 now, he's making some really solid inroads this early on in the race. 1 second gap to Tonga, the car in front. He's on the mediums, of course. So his tires perhaps maybe not quite the temperature where they need to be at the moment. Steps, hot lap mode on. That he will get past Kaka fairly easily down to turn 1. I'm sure that Kaka is happy to stay behind for the moment, and that gap between Haaland and Steps is already up to 1.2. Paddy closely following P4, has that 3-second penalty to contend with as well. There is a bit of a gap to Cutler behind, so if he can stick with the DRS, not fight too much with the cars in front, he might be able to. I'm not sure what happened there with Rios. He might be able to have that 3-second advantage to to Cutler behind, and might finish in P4. And that would be a fantastic finish for him, considering where he'd been early on in the race. Penalty to contend with as well. Off for the moment, but recharge into turn 1. No, he's not really with the fastest lap of the race now. Down the inside of Tonga. Gets the move done very nicely indeed, and Cutthroat, his good friend, is his next target. Just a little bit of a wobble there. Hot lap mode on, look at how much she's gaining. Briatis and Tranquilosan were very, very close there. I think that through that corner, just under a tenth was the gap. Really pushing each other. Ooh, that was very close to being a warning for Ala Briatis. So really getting past Cutthroat now. Cutthroat is going to be sticking very closely behind. Wanted to follow his good friend through. I mean, that gap is up to 2.4 between Paddy and Yuri. I'm not quite sure Yuri's going to have enough to close in. As we see yellow flags, and that is Sparrow, unfortunately, who's spun round in Sector 3. Coming up to the final stages of the race now. To see the steps recharges DRS a bit. He's got nearly half of what Kaka is on at the moment. Kaka's just biding his time, waiting for perhaps the penultimate lap to make the move on the car in front. The win is gone. Haaland is checking out at the moment. But P2, there's still everything to fight for, and Sparrow's retired in the pits. He's had enough. Unlucky for Sparrow. Unlucky for him. Just not his night. These McLarens have been incredibly close to the whole race. Could be frustrating for both of them, really. And Naismith picks up 3 seconds. Oh! And runs into the wall. I believe there was some damage there. Yep, he's coming into the pits. We see Tonga now making a move on Cutthroat, so it's unfortunate for Naismith. He's also retired in the pits, so he's had enough as well. And Yuri's actually gaining on Paddy in front. Gap was at 2.4 before, now down to 1.92 seconds at the moment. So Yuri does have some solid pace on these soft tires. Paddy perhaps being slowed down a little bit, but of course is benefiting from the DRS of the cars in front. Big race from Yuri for sure. Paddy with a 3-second time penalty at the moment. He is in P4. P18 to P4 provisionally at the moment. Could be huge. Kaka's within 1/10. Going to be going for the move on the steps now. Haaland sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:10.3, and Paddy now thinking about a move down the inside. Goes for a little bit of a fake. Oh, Paddy nearly losing the car there. That was a bit of a tricky one. Gap from Yuri to Paddy's down to 1.8. but I'd imagine with slipstream through this section here, going up quite a bit again. Yep, back up to 1.9. Tranquiloson has retired from the session. It looks like he is retired on track. Uh-oh. That could be an issue, but it looks like Tranquiloson has retired on track there. And now we need to see the steps stay behind. He's got time to recharge his battery, go for one final push on the penultimate lap. Here he gets past Paddy, who had a little bit of an issue on the back corner. Unfortunate for him, and now Tonga's on the back of him as well. Could Yuri push for a podium finish? That is a big question that needs to be answered. Oh, Steps is using a lot of his ERS to try and keep up with Kaka in front. They're both on the same ERS level. Who's going to finish in front? Tonga now on the back of Paddy as well. This could get feisty. Both drivers usually defend quite aggressively in their approach, and Paddy happy to let him go. Loses 2 positions though. Oh no, that's not what you wanted to do. I'm fairly sure of that. But from fighting for a podium, Paddy's down into P7 at the moment. Go on board with the Steps now. Is he able to get a move done with turn 1? Kaka's using his ERS. Steps is not. Closing in quite quickly there, but not quite enough to get the move done. Cutthroat getting past Tonga. Not quite. A little bit of contact there on the exit of the corner, going side by side. Tonga opting. Oh, a little bit of a tap in the rear there. Very good blocking from Tonga there. Oh, sorry, from Cutthroat. Not getting past in this section. Tonga's going to have one more opportunity. Oh, Cutthroat goes onto the curb there. Try and get the switchback, goes onto the curb a little bit and not able to get the traction down in time. Under braking, closing up, and the Steps. Oh, touches the curb a little bit there on the exit, but Kaka looks to be securing P2 in this one. And Haaland comes across the line in P1. Congratulations to Haaland. Yuri finishes in P4. Oh my goodness, photo finish on the line there. Cutthroat and Tonga. However, Tonga does have a penalty which could get removed. Let me go into the race director for him. So that is 1, 2, 3 penalties, or 3 warnings there for Tonga. A solid finish there, Tonga. I went into the race director there for you, so in case you need to get it removed, you've got that footage, but definitely take a little video of your race director anyways. But huge congratulations to Haaland in P1, secures yet another win here in Division 1 in Divine Eye Racing. Kaka, solid race from him, was very patient throughout the whole race, finishes in a solid P2, Steps with a P3 finish as well. With my setup, just to let you know, Lopo Tikashi, that's my setup, which is contributing to a podium finish. And Yuri from the back of the grids, finishing in P4. Driver of the day, definitely. See you later, Lopo. Thanks a lot for tuning in, bro. Cutthroat with a P5 finish. Very, very solid drive from here as well. Yeah, W setup. W setup. Come on. Paddy starting in P7 and finishing in P7. Tonga with the drive-through, able to come back and fight for a P6 finish on track, but could be a P5 finish post penalties. Alavriadis, Jan, and you see the rest. A few DNFs tonight, all the way down to Tranquiloson, so 6 drivers DNFing, but that has been Divine Racing round 6 around Zandvoort. Thank you so much for everyone for tuning in. I do appreciate it very much, and I hope you all have a lovely, lovely evening.